Bambi. Yes, Bambi. Grown ass man watches Bambi. 1942 Bambi. Now, I watched the 2005 release DVD of Bambi. So it was remastered. I don't know if they cut anything out of the film, which most likely in 60 years they most definitely probably cut a few things out of it, because I kind of remember as a kid, like if you haven't seen Bambi before, I'm going to say a spoiler. So don't listen if you don't want to hear the spoiler. But I kind of remember as a kid that when they shot Bambi's mom, Bambi was right there looking at the Bambi was right there talking to his mother. So I guess that might have been a Mandela effect or something. But I watched the 2005 release of Bambi. It was on DVD. I was watching the movie, and my initial thoughts was like, "Oh, this is pretty tame, pretty mild." I was enjoying the art. You could basically see um the drawn. It looks just like paintings. Like you could literally see the paintings of the movie. So I was like, "Oh, this is pretty crazy." My initial thought was, "This is no Akira, man." If you've seen the movie Akira and you've seen how they drew that, this is no Akira. But this was made in 1942, so Akira, I believe, was made either in the 70s or in the 80s, possibly in the 90s, who knows? But it was made a long time ago, and it was hand drawn, and Akira was phenomenal animation. I love the old school hand drawn animation. So I was looking at the art, I was admiring it, and the story was kind of very simple and boring, and I was like, wow, what the hell? I didn't really know too much about Bambi. Number one, something that really screwed me over. Bambi is a boy. I thought Bambi was a girl. All right, so that's one thing that screwed me up. Number two, there's a character in there named Flower, and it's a skunk. I thought Flower was a girl too. And then, like, towards the end of the movie, where they all grow up, Flower is a boy. So during the movie, I was thinking, is this a freaking movie about being transgender or what? Because it kind of feels like the boys and the girls kind of look like girls and boys. So it's like, what the hell is this damn movie? But I don't think it could have been that. But nevertheless, it was a pretty decent movie. It was kind of boring. It had a really tragic. It had um, several tragic scenes in the movie. Not just the death of Bambi's mother, but also the burning of the forest. So it was just like tragic in the tragic with the mother, and then tragic with the forest, and then at the end it's about the circle of life, basically. Like one person dies, then you get with it, then you fall in love with someone. It was like a really good it was a really good, like, birds and the bees movie to explain for children, but they put a death in the middle. And this movie, made me really hate humans and dogs. And I never thought I would feel that. But I hated humans and dogs when I watched this. I said, fuck, man. Look at what humans have done. They killed Bambi's mom. Then they try to kill Bambi and Bambi's girlfriend and Bambi's friends and family. And they fucking burned down the forest. And it didn't continue, but I'm pretty sure that Bambi 2 would be the whole forest is gone and there's nothing but track homes in where the forest was. So absolutely made me hate humans and dogs because they use dogs to hunt the animals. So it was a very emotional movie, kind of boring. Um, in hindsight, it was pretty cool message, but watching it, it was kind of boring, except for those two crazy things. And I was I was in awe with the with the animation, the hand drawn animation. I was like enjoying that, and I was like, wow, this is cool. This is inspirational that you can draw and paint pictures and make these pictures move. You could literally see how cartoons were made back in the day, and it's inspiring for an artist. All in all, it was rated like a 7.4 on IMDb, and it was rated like a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I would say that it's a bit overrated. I would put this like at a 6.7. And if I would say like what Rotten Tomatoes, it would probably be like 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was not phenomenal. It was not the greatest movie ever made, but it just so old. It's from the 1940s. If you consider when it was made, the 1940s, then yes, for that time, it was a really good one. But after all these years, has it stood the test of time? I don't think it did. I think it was okay, kind of boring. I almost fell asleep watching it. It is kind of relaxing, and then it throws this crazy death and sad, very tragic scene with you. And I'm like, what the hell? Why would they do that? What's the audience here? This is like horrible. How would you do that? How would you show this to a child? When we were kids, these were our cartoons. So why would you show that to a damn child? A single mother getting killed. And I know it's deer, but they still speak in English. They still speak human. So, and these animals did absolutely nothing wrong. They did nothing evil, and they got killed. Probably the most innocent creatures in the world, completely innocent, and one gets killed. A lot of them, a lot of them got killed. A lot of them got burned to death. Their habitat got burned. They had a beautiful ecosystem. They were living in peace with each other. And at one point I was watching this and I said, "Oh, this movie is very magical. Like the forest is kind of magical. Like it's beautifully magical by itself." And they portrayed it that way. So it's just overall it's a good movie, but hmm it'll be hard to watch it again. It is kind of boring, but it does have two crazy scenes in it. So this was probably made in a time where people had higher attention spans. I could almost see you putting on this movie for your kids and they kind of fall asleep. And then once they fall asleep, then you finish the movie yourself. Um, I could see it as that. Like if you have children and it's like 9 o'clock and it's time for them to go to sleep, pop on Bambi, and the first part of it is so boring and sleepy that you fall asleep. The children will fall asleep, and then once they fall asleep, then the adults will stay there and then watch the rest of the movie, which is very tragic. So I don't know if I want this in my collection. I don't know if I want to see it again. It was kind of boring, um, but it was kind of like a honor to watch, I guess, and to to see how it was. There are Disney movies that I like more than this one, but this one is pretty freaking dark. And if you want to hate humans and dogs, then watch the movie.